The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. Brian Haynes alongside as we continue with our off-season reviews. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button here in the Sportsocracy to be able to get all of the off-season reviews, team by team, right here. All the playlists set up for your team, no matter who they are. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you see all of our content as it comes out. Don't forget to share it with your friends as well. We are in the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. Time for the off-season files of
the Dallas Cowboys.
That's right, the Dallas Cowboys hoodwink us year in and year out to being a Super Bowl contender, a playoff contender, and it seems like year in and year out the Dallas Cowboys just let us down.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as a Giants fan, it's nice to have seen.
you like seeing it.
Yeah, I've enjoyed the downfall of the Cowboys year in and year out. I have a bad feeling that this year it's going to end. Here's the thing. Dak Prescott is healthy going into the season from all accounts. If he can stay healthy, this is an offense that is unbelievably good. I mean, they're deep and they're loaded. The offensive line isn't what it was in the past, but it's not like it's, you know, still a top 10 offensive line in this league.
Right.
Problem was last year, obviously, aside from Dak getting hurt, was that their defense was just a sieve. I mean, they couldn't stop anybody.
Right.
So they were scoring 30 points a game. And this was even when Dak was playing. If you remember correctly, some people forget, they weren't doing great when Dak was playing in the beginning either. So they were scoring 30 a game, but they were giving up 35.
Right.
The problem was I always looked at Mike Nolan as not the answer for he came in and kind of changed things. The personnel wasn't fit for a Mike Nolan defense. Now they bring in Dan Quinn. I always thought Dan Quinn was a better coordinator than he was a head coach. If you remember, he's the Legion of Boom coordinator. He was doing great things in Seattle, went over to Atlanta, and it just didn't seem to work out as a head coach. I believe he's going to have these guys ready to go. They made some impressive draft picks. With getting Micah Parsons, I think is going to be a stud. He does have some off-field issues.
Yep.
But doesn't that kind of ring true for Dallas? I mean, it seems like that's kind of the thing
Dallas
that's kind of there. They don't really care about those kind of things as long as you can come in and play.
Yeah, Dallas has been down that road many a time with character issues with players. I'm not concerned about that. I'm not concerned about the Micah Parsons stuff that came out, during the draft process. It all happened years ago. He says he's grown from it. We have no choice but to take him at his word.
Exactly.
That life has changed a little bit for Micah Parsons, and so he is. I don't think that's going to play a major role into it. Is it a talking point going into his career? Yes, it is, but I don't think so. I think the Dallas Cowboys have had a pretty good offseason.
Yeah.
You would like to have seen them add some key players in the secondary to help that defense, help that defense be just even half-assed. And I think they have a good chance of being half-assed this year, which should be an improvement over what they were last year. There's no doubt about it.
It was historically bad last year.
The Dallas Cowboys did the one thing that they needed to do in this offseason, and that was get the Dak Prescott contract situation settled. That is now settled. Dak Prescott is back. He looks like he's healthy. He is going to be the leader of this team. And I like their prospects. I like their prospects for this upcoming season.
Absolutely. I mean, look at the team that they're building around them. I believe, I like that they brought in Keanu Neal over with him from Dan Quinn brings him over from Atlanta. There's talk that he's going to be playing more of a linebacker role as opposed to his traditional safety role that he had been playing. Right. The drafting of Jabril Cox, who, I feel was in that kind of the tweener stage of a safety linebacker. But I think he's going to excel. Kelvin Joseph was at first when they first made that pick, I was a little bit I thought he was more of a late second-round guy as opposed to an early second-round guy.
Right.
But I think he is going to fit well into this because he's a longer outside cornerback, which Dan Quinn's defenses are predicated around to have those long, big press cover cornerbacks.
Right.
And you look at some of the other moves that they made. I mean, their linebacking core is so great. I mean, it's one of the better ones out there with Micah Parsons now, Leighton Vander Esch, and Jalen Smith. That's 3 really solid linebackers. Yep. You still have DeMarcus Lawrence, who hasn't really played up to his contract as far as I'm concerned, but still can get after the quarterback. And if Randy Gregory can lay off the weed, he'll be just fine. So,
right.
But other moves. I wish they would have. I was hoping that they would address maybe the tight end situation a little bit. Blake Jarwin, Dalton Schultz are okay as tight ends.
Yeah.
And it's not like there's a billion tight ends out there to go get.
Well, Jerry was all about some Kyle Pitts, and, that was his little boyfriend in the draft process, and he kept throwing out the hints that they might move up and try to get him at the top of the draft. And we all saw through that. It would have been silly. A move that you make. It would have been a great luxury to have. But at this point, when you have a wide receiver core like the Dallas Cowboys have, you don't really have to have a primo tight end. And that's not saying that Blake Jarwin and Dalton Schultz can't be that together. Obviously, neither of those guys are superstars. But you got Blake Jarwin coming back from the injury.
Yep.
Dalton Schultz is actually going to be a part of this tight end university that Travis Kelce and some of the other top tight ends in the league have put together for later this summer. They're going to gather all the tight ends and just have like one big giant symposium,
That's
like a
cool.
giant summit.
Trying to bring the tight ends out there.
Right,
yeah.
Because that's the idea, is to lift the level of tight end play in the league. So, obviously, those 2 guys would be brilliant choices to lift the tight end group. So I wasn't too upset or upset at all that they didn't do anything with the tight end position. Support for the Sportsocracy is brought to you by Manscaped. We welcome Manscaped into the Sportsocracy family. They are the world champions in below-the-waist grooming for men.
Yep.
Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right. That's the 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with an exclusive offer for you. Get 20% off of all your purchases and free worldwide shipping with the code Sportsocracy at manscaped.com. Imagine shaving with a sleek, well-designed, optimized trimmer that makes shaving time your favorite time in the bathroom.
Hey, everybody needs to clean up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As a guy who is basically Chewbacca.
Yep.
Yeah, Manscaped is what I need to be looking towards.
Yep.
Maybe my fiance will look at me a little bit different if I clean myself a little bit different.
Shocker of shockers, the partner in your life will love it. Manscaped engineered the ultimate groin and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and an incredible, comfortable grooming experience. Their 4th-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents.
Ooh.
Have you ever done that?
No.
Oh, really?
I don't typically bring anything towards my nutsack, but...
Well, if you are like me and you have tried,
now
you
that I have
understand.
the Lawnmower 4.0, things are going to be a little bit different.
That's right. If you are like me and you have tried that before, you understand how dangerous that can be. But they have the advanced skin-safe technology now to protect the family jewels. Get 20% off, free shipping with the code Sportsocracy at manscaped.com. 20% off, free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code Sportsocracy. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Your balls will thank you. I'm Tank Spencer. Brian Haynes is alongside as well. We're talking about the Dallas Cowboys off-season review here. And the moves that they have made in the off-season, I get that they didn't add anybody really great to the defense other than their draft picks. You get Keanu Neal coming in. He's going to transfer over to being a linebacker. DeMonte KZ comes in. He's also a guy who was with Dan Quinn in Atlanta. So they understand what the philosophy of this defense is going to be.
Yeah.
And the one thing that does concern me, though, you do have Dan Quinn coming in here, and he was known in Atlanta for blowing some giant leads. Yeah. In fact, well, the Dallas Cowboys, though, did get the better of them. In their last game last year.
In one of their blown leads.
What was the score of that game? It was like 45-40 or something.
$8 billion to $700 billion.
I mean, he's a guy who's known for blowing leads. Hopefully, he's not going to have that on his hanging around his neck.
He's not going to be the head coach of that team.
Right.
I think he made poor decisions with time management and all kinds of different stuff.
Right.
Putting him back into his perfect role as a defensive coordinator, I think is going to work. This is a team, much as it pains me to say, is a 100% a playoff team this year.
There's no doubt about it.
If you look at our projections as a team, our mullet master had him at 11-6. Tank and I both had him at 10-7. Caleb had him at 9-8, and Tommy had him at 8-9. So we had only one losing record to speak of here. So we obviously look at this team, and I believe that they're going to be in that 9, 10, 11 range. And I think they could even win a couple more games. It really just all depends on how this defense plays out. This is a team that's going to make the playoffs, should make the playoffs. If it doesn't make the playoffs, I think we're going to have some pretty big trouble Mike McCarthy's way. I just don't see them with a whole healthy year and everything doing. If they don't make the playoffs with this team, I can see Mike McCarthy being on the hot seat.
Now, a lot of people will say that's not right. Mike McCarthy was there last year. Dak Prescott got injured. The whole season got derailed because of it. I get it, but the hopes for this team were championship. I mean, it was Super Bowl or bust at one point for this team. And I feel like we're kind of in that same boat, that anything that they do short of making the playoffs is absolutely going to light the fire underneath Mike McCarthy's seat.
Right.
If they make the playoffs, you can show progress. You could say, okay, we're taking the next step here. But you don't have a whole lot of time for this to happen. I mean, you've got all of these big contracts right now that you have to make this work now.
Yeah.
And I get it. Mike McCarthy, he's not a number one on the hot seat list. We're not saying that. What we are saying is, if it's a disappointing season, there is going to be a lot of pressure on Jerry Jones and on Stephen Jones and on Mike McCarthy to make this work.
Well, here's the thing, too. People forget to understand. Before Dak got hurt, they were 1-3. And the only game they won, they beat Atlanta by 1 in that crazy onside kick, crazy game where they ended up winning by 1 point. So they could have easily been 0-4 going into that Giants game. So it's not, and I think that's what people are forgetting about Mike McCarthy. There was already talk about Mike McCarthy being gone after those 4 games because they were like, whoa, what's going on here? I tend to believe that it was the Mike Nolan defense more than it was the Mike McCarthy experience. I think that Dan Quinn coming over, but that is what I'm talking about. If for some reason this team ends up in that 8 or 9 win region and misses the playoffs, I don't see how Mike McCarthy can keep his job because it's going to be all on him at this point. He's going to say, Dak's healthy. We made these draft picks for you. We got a new defensive coordinator. We did this, and this, and you still couldn't do it with a team that is supposed to be making a Super Bowl run. And that's where I could see him saying, we're out of here.
I think the one area that they do need to improve, they still need to improve at tight end. There's no doubt about it. But I think what they have is serviceable. Over on the defensive side, the secondary needs a little help, namely in the safety position.
I'm a little bit.
I mean, you had Byron Jones there, and he's gone, and he's off in Miami doing crazy things now. I just feel like this is not a complete team yet. I'm not ready to put them in the Super Bowl contender category, but I am saying this is a definite playoff contender.
Playoff team with the ability to give a good run with the Washington football team for the division lead. I believe they've improved. I just think Washington's a much better team, especially defensively, and that's why I have them winning the division. But Dallas is right there. And if they need to make the playoffs, they will make the playoffs.
It is going to be a rough start to the season. They've got the first game of the year on Thursday Night Football against the reigning Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's on the road. Then they got to go West Coast for the next week to take on the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah.
And then you got a lot of wins on this schedule.
Yeah.
Philadelphia, Carolina, New York Giants, the New England Patriots, who we don't believe in, the Vikings, the Broncos, the Falcons, the Raiders, the Saints, the Giants again, the Philadelphia Eagles again at the end. I mean, you've got 9 games at least on this schedule that you should go, we should win those easily.
Yeah. And then you try to win out some of the other games that are kind of in that miss range. So I'm looking at that 9, 10, 11.
Anything more than that, you don't want to know. I've been bitten too many times by the Dallas Cowboys.
You know, our co-host, our normal co-host, Jeremy Greene, had them winning the Super Bowl last year, and things didn't go well for him. So he tends to try to shy away from giving that reaction this year. The NFC's got a lot of good teams, and they can easily get into the playoffs. I'm not sure how far they will go, but it really all depends. If they can shore up this defense and not give up 35 points a game, and they can maybe get it down to 24, 25, and they can still score 30 a game, that's a huge difference.
Yep.
You know, so we'll see what happens.
Yep. Don't forget to check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/thesportsocracy. Help us keep the dream alive here. Help us bring you greater content as we roll closer and closer to the NFL season. No doubt. Hang with us here throughout the offseason for all of the offseason reviews. We're going to have all of the fantasy advice coming up for the season as well. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to share it out with your friends. That's the most important thing. We want as many people as possible here in the Sportsocracy community. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Brian Haynes. We'll see you next time.
We'll be right back.